Connection with the Shaman. I'm your host, Shaman Odin Greywolf, here with my co-host, Jamie Jette from Stargate Medicine. And today we thought we'd just let things flow, go with the flow, talk a little bit about life, and, whatever comes up. So go ahead, Jamie, and introduce yourself.
Hi there, I'm Jamie Jette, up here on the east side at Shangri-La, and I am co-facilitator of Stargate Sound Medicine. And so, yeah, John and I are um, diving into a lot of different things because I'm telling myself that it's because it's so nice to hear positive things instead of negative things. So,
Right? It really does. It's a way of life. It's not a practice. So me and Jamie were talking in sound check about yesterday. I had a little bit of a mental day, so I took a mental day, and it was good for me because it reminded me why I focus. Hello, Cheryl. Why I focus on these positive changes and meditation in my life is because of where I came from when this was was and always has been medicine for the soul. So like yesterday I woke up to a phone text messaging on vibrate. There was at least 30 messages on my phone going back to back. My thoughts were back to ADHD mode like before, and that's what led to my old collapse, is when my mind was going in too many directions at once. But thankfully for that collapse, I went to practices, learning things. What I could do is focus my mind into the esoteric, shamanism, the occult, walk in nature. So my medicine yesterday was to go out into nature and allow my eruption to burst and record it as I was going through it. Once I calmed down and relaxed, self evaluate what was going on. Because we never really know when or where we're going to have one of these mental days. They come up out of nowhere. So thank
yeah.
God for the teachings. Thank God for things like astrology, for meditation, for tarot cards, for awakening symptoms. I see my mental collapse as an awakening catalyst because it told me to dive into myself, dive into therapy, dive into, at the time, dive into mythologies and religions and philosophies to try to find a meaning of life, if you will. But then over the years, once you're awake, you see life differently. We're not, if I could handle 30 text messages in the morning, I would still be working as a construction plumber, supervisor, general foreman. I would be bringing home 2K a week, not a month. Life would be a lot different, but once we awaken to a different type of reality. We're not chasers no more. We're not needy. We don't need validation. We don't need other people to fulfill us. Even when we have mental collapses like I did yesterday, we don't need medication. We need our soul. And things that throw me out of loop, it's like if I don't have time to keep my house neat and clean, right? So I think a lot of the catalyst for triggers yesterday was my dishes and clutter on my kitchen sink, clutter in my living room. I think over the last 3 days, being too busy, it led up to that catalyst. And so basically, this is like I told Katie, spiritual hygiene is what we do, or what I do. And once you awaken, you see life in a different point of view, where the rest of the world seems to be lost in chasing either need money, love, status, or some kind of purpose in life. Once you have lost your grips of reality, right, you find yourself. And so that's a little bit of what led me to where I am today. So I thought we'd open up with a little bit of this because I see people at their core. I see the personas surrounding them like layers of clothing, and I see what's at the heart. And throughout life, there's a lot of people that are suffering in silence. Like if you were to see me in my normal day, you would never know that I have PTSD, that I suffer from anxiety, ADHD, and that I had depression for 10 years because I keep it in silence through my day to day activities, practices, journaling, tarot, occult, watching birds, seeing images in the clouds. These are things that soothe my soul. And so, before I go too far into it, that's just a little bit of what I experienced yesterday and sharing with you guys so that we can open that dialogue to let you know it's okay to not be perfect. So, what are your thoughts, Jamie?
Thank you so much. Oh, there's a lot in that.
I know. I'm sorry. I dove.
Apologize, please. This is really good because it does open a dialogue, and we are conditioned to be perfect. But yet, instead of looking at it as perfection, what about the idea of a practice that we um, we accept what is unfolding? And this happened with a friend of mine. She was so ecstatic that it changes your level of consciousness. Instead of everything you're thinking, everything happens to you, it happens for you. And just that one word is a game changer. So instead, I have my picture of my kindergarten. When I first have my picture and I look at that little girl and I say, you did the very best you could. And thank you so much for your patience and your survival. But I'm learning as an adult, it's okay to let go of that grip. And it's good that you identify the triggers, Sean, because I'm thinking that once we relax into that perfect and the dishes stacked up and the everything, it's in it practice. Remember, we've talked about this. We didn't come out of our mother's womb. They cut the cord, and all of a sudden we started running.
Yeah.
Okay. We were acclimating into this planet, into this space, not breathing underwater. So, as we get away from all that conditioning and that trigger, and we remember who we are, we remember that who we are before we were told who to be.
Yeah.
And I'm really, it's a new mission for me that I really want to help people see or come up onto this plateau and take a different perspective of one's life and say it's good to identify the triggers, but you don't want to sleep there the entire day. You
No.
just want to say, okay, I can do the dishes, or I can wait till they stack up for 5 days and it takes 20 minutes as opposed to 10. I mean, it's all about decisions. But when I look at that little girl and I'm thinking, okay, who are we going to create today? Who is going to be on the other side of the mirror that I'm seeing? And I'm saying to myself, I'm going to today practice just being who I was created to be. And it isn't going to be what the media tells me. It isn't what my husband is going to tell me. It's not what my friends are going to tell me. And this is a conversation um, I guess there's a label for it, mirror work or whatever, but
Yeah.
when we really look at ourselves and really eye gaze at ourselves and say, you know what? I am enough. I am perfect just for today, the way I am. I am perfect when I get angry and something ruffles my feathers and I just blast it out. I'm saying, and that's taking practice too. This is all an experience. This is all experiential. Will we ever know the mysteries of all of this? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a continuum. So anyway, and that's a tough one. Who I don't know who wrote that, but it's really interesting. Somebody had pointed out that we are human beings,
Yeah.
and my calendar keeps getting full, and I'm like, "Wait, Bob, we're supposed to be being, but yet we're we're constantly doing. What is this?" So I don't I don't psychoanalyze it. I just say, okay, for some reason, our dance card is to be full. And I'm telling myself, and you're the one who told me, John, sometimes when things come to us, it isn't for me.
Yeah.
It is for the collective. It is for somebody that might need that at a visioning Sunday or a game night with friends. We don't know.
Yeah.
But the fact that instead of seeing that I'm doing something, I've been kind of noodling the idea that I am participating. So, it's more fluid for me instead of be or do. I kinda like the fluidity, and that's why I loved when you sent the picture of the cloud. I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's what I want. I want the fluidity to realize whatever position in my fractal holon to the whole is going to bring a reflection for someone else. I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
in.
That's, those are things I think about too. That's why while I was walking through the desert, first off, during the collapse, these are some of the symptoms. I'm bringing this up because I have a feeling it's just like you said, it could be for a collective. We are mediums, by the way, it happens. So when it started to happen, I feel like people are in my walls listening to me. I feel like I'm being on the spotlight or under a magnifying glass in my own home. I feel like if I speak a word, 1,000 people heard me and are judging me. So I start taking off and I get way out there. And once I got way out there where I know no one is near and the cell phone service was dead, this is how I cope with it. I turned it on and I did that mirror work and I'm expressing everything, saying this is what's bothering me. I don't live like this. And like triggers that came up, we were talking about how I would have triggers. One thing that came up is it wasn't even really about the ADHD thought. Yeah, Truman Show for real. It wasn't even really about the ADHD thoughts. Those were a symptom of a core wound that was from trauma. And it happened to be about when people say specific things, how it sends me into fight or flight mode and how like over life. So mirror work is really important, like you said. And choosing, like before in my past, I would choose to take that energy out on everyone around me or choose to spread that poison on somebody by directing all that poison on them. But instead, over the years, I've learned to choose to go out and speak to nature, and nature heals in that way. And I even feel bad about bringing all that. There's an old Buddhist tale of a monk who's carrying this rock up the hill, right? And he's carrying this big old rock and he's complaining all the way up to the top of the hill. And then the spirit tells him, drop the rock. Like you came up here carrying all that heavy baggage and yelling and complaining. So even when I go out into nature, I feel like, and then once I calm down, I tell spirit, I'm sorry, spirit, but thank you for being here. Thank you for being my medicine. It's this
Beautiful.
choosing differently, being able to shift in that consciousness right there, where, as in the old days, since that phone was going off 30 times, I'd pick it up, turn it on, and start screaming at whoever was calling me. I don't do that anymore. I turn do not disturb on, or I turn the phone off. Um, a lot of the triggers that were coming were conversations where people trauma dump all of their trauma. And you try to be there for people in your life, but when it's trauma dumping, sometimes it can get confusing and you wonder if the person is projecting, because once you're aware, that's all you can see. Are they projecting, or are they genuinely trauma dumping? And if so, what did I do to bring this on? So these are things that I do when I go out into fix myself mode. I try to rationalize all these situations.
I want to bring up something that I just heard you say, and so point as we practice commanding our space, because I'm learning this. One of the shamans, one of my other friends told me 2 months ago, command your space. And ever since then, I thought, wow, it's a pivoting point for myself to, yeah, I'm not attracting this. That's theirs. That belongs to them. I'm going to gently remind them that what participation do you have in all of that? What, because I'm not a psychotherapist, I'm not a family and marriage therapist. I am a human being, just like we all are,
Right.
walking each other home. And I would really, my body can't physically do it. I know now, I've now had the courage to say, no, that isn't even allowed in my home. I can't, even if it's on the phone, I'm like listening to my body. So I'm think it's good that you listened and said, I got to get away. I need to step back. And then when you step back, it changes your perspective. But yeah, I don't think you are attracting it. It's just there's so much vibrational um, chaos. There's a lot of global, they've even, I mean, a lot of us were affected with the sun flares, and now with this 3I atlas that's coming. There's a lot of us that are picking up because we're allowing ourselves to be open to different ideas as opposed to being conditioned. So when she told me to command my space, I thought, what the hell does that look like? But I'm like, yeah, I'm going to command my space. Let's just try it out. And it was just a baby step, but
Yeah.
it worked. And now I'm watching people. We have a house full of all these construction people, and it's very interesting. I'm observing the leads, the, I guess you call them foremans or whatever, and they have a different stance. And I'm like, well, how come I've never noticed that before? So when you're observing, and I can see you've had people, they'll pull us down. They don't really, they do not mean to, but
Yeah.
at some point say, you know what? I just am not available right now. And it's okay not to be available. And then we had a thing here at the house where we're visioning, and someone I was trained in, and one of the participants had a pain. It was evident where she had lost an animal, and it was really sad. But I couldn't go. All I could do is offer a tissue. I couldn't go hug her. I couldn't go console her. I, in order to part of that process, we are to process
Yeah.
those feelings. And so, with the overwhelming and the anger is part of our design. We
Yeah.
are allowed to get angry. We don't be perfect little, oh, I'm just going to say nothing and be. It's not about the niceties. It's
Right.
about embodying the feelings. You feel them, you embrace them, you look at them, maybe journal. Wow, where did that feel in my body? Was it my gut? Was my head going to explode? Were my fists clenched?
Mm.
So, with the feeling of these, it's all part of the experience, all about um, for myself. And I know there is for others when you can witness them feeling, allowing themselves to really embodying pain, embodying anger, embodying joy, embodying stillness. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just it's good that that we say it's okay to feel the feeling.
Right. That's, you said something that made a remember something yesterday when I was out there speaking out, and then I started to hear responses. I believe a lot. I believe different than what people would consider normal. I'm awake and I
Now
know
listen,
better.
normal is a wash machine.
Huh?
Normal is a wash machine.
Exactly. I'm awake, and by being awake I know better. So when I'm out there and I finally calm myself down and I'm meditating, I'm burning some yerba santa for spirit. I heard people, they're like, well, why don't you ever tell me this? And you know why? You know better. When I try to tell you, you go to the extreme deflection and lie. You mask and gaslight. You hide the truth, and you expect my kindness. You expect me to keep the kindness because I'm a kind person, but you don't know the monster in me, and that's the monster you're poking at. And I was talking to him back. And I believe that helps the universe. I believe that it doesn't matter where you are, you're heard. I have a story where a relative of mine, we're out in the desert, and we're working through some issues, and out of fucking nowhere, this man comes out of the desert and he says, "We're always listening. We're always here. We're always surrounding you." And I sat back in my chair at that moment because I'm like, you see, we are always in union. And that kind of brings me to, I'm working back with the Sephiroth again. That kind of energy comes from the Kether on the Sephiroth. When you awaken, first, it's very ugly. It's very terrible. It shreds your life apart because that's not your real life. You no longer can function at these mainstream media mentalities. Your life strips to the bone. Your life strips. That's why you said a lot of people believe I fell from the sky, is because I took years of isolation because I'm like, I can't see you right now because you're operating over there in this addiction. You're operating in this obsession, and you're operating in this illusion. And to me, those are all drugs. I can't. I got to back away. So Isolation, once you become in union, and then you go through many years of trying to figure out and putting the pieces together, and then you get into this union with God. And I say God, and I don't mean a religious God. I don't mean Jesus Christ. I don't mean that he was a great teacher, but he wasn't God. Buddha was not God. None of these figures were God. But when you become in union with this God, there is a different mentality. There is a different way of life. Like you said, the foreman stands different. We stand in a whole new presence because reality is just the video game. We are infinite and finite
Oh,
exist.
explain that.
Huh?
Explain that.
Explain that. We are beyond the cosmos. We are beyond any understanding of our universe, of our stars. We understand that stars are consciousness. We understand that the universe is one whole being. And we are also as microcosm, as subatomic particles that permeate within and without everything on this earth, or what we know as reality. And we also understand that this is only one existence. All of that I just entailed, encompassing and microcosm, is only one of infinite proportions of this reality. And that's a level of consciousness that you just can't sit around and explain to people all the time. You can drop subtle hints, we can share how we make it, but it is set apart from reality of what people consider reality. Money, what the hell is that? It's just energy, exactly. Status, what the hell is that? What do you mean? No. Yes. That's uh, oh, you guys can't hear her? Tap the little microphone, Jamie. I can hear you. Okay, now tap it again. I can hear you. It's been an amazing message too. Can you guys hear me? Let me ask. Can sh- a person said Jamie went to the next dimension to bring our message. Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I don't know if she's completely frozen for me, video frozen, no audio from her. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, try that.
Effects, music,
Oh, there
flip.
you are.
We we hear you just dandy. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Oh, because Jamie brought you're back. You're there, Jamie. Yeah, you're here now. Now you're with us. I could hear you the whole time. So my God, I'm so sorry you guys missed all that because it was
We're recorded, aren't we recorded?
yeah. So that's interesting. I
Yeah,
wonder
but
if on the
I think it's great because let me tell you, somebody was in, oh no, they're not ready. They can't handle it. But you heard me, John.
absolutely. And one thing you were talking about just brought me to light, like the understanding that life doesn't need physical form to be existent. That is my unity with this universe. And yesterday when I come home after I did my bath, I took a nice I'm a bath person. I'm a water element, so I'm a bath person. I soaked in an Epsom salt bath and I had all my muscles relaxed. I'm laying there and the universe starts just opening up and explaining to me lessons like, this is why you had to experience this. This is why you had to experience that. By the way, look at your phone. Bing, a light turns on and it's a Sigma no. It was a Carl Jung talk about the wounded father figure and things like this. And so they're all just kind of like I do understand that there is an illusion sometimes with algorithms, but once you reach unity consciousness, there is nothing on this earth that is communicating with you. So that was the beautiful part about it is I'm out there yelling and recording myself and birding all of the physical reality onto spirit and spirit's like, yeah, all right, come on. I know you've been in the 3D world too long. Come on. And then when I come home, it's like, all right, now here, this is what I have for you. So much, in fact, to where I had the best sleep, slept very good, woke up today very clear, very concise. And it's just, it's part of it. That's kind of what Jamie was getting into the vastness of this experience. Fuck, now I forgot what he said.
But it's the you talk about there is no form. We talked about this just yesterday. One of the elders said it's seamless.
Hmm.
It's seamless. And that's if we can wrap our brains around the idea that it is seamless
Yeah,
and these are just temporary suits because and sometimes in the sands you can only hold sand in your hand for a certain amount of time until it falls through eventually.
yeah,
And I'm telling myself, when you think about the idea of the vastness of that which we see and still cannot see is is seamless. So it's literally a thought away. And yet you take a breath and that's how close it is.
yeah,
And that is the seamless part of for myself is unifying with the allness of all the energy and formless form. I know that's what you're going to say. Oh, Jamie's crazy. I'm not
No,
crazy. I'm just telling you,
you're
there
awake.
is so much that we don't know.
Oh,
And guess what? We get to learn. We get to learn.
thank God for all that we don't know. It gives us stuff to do, to learn more. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
you mentioned that breath. We are one breath. I'll tell you, when I had my NDE, that was the release. Before I went, I was holding on to that last breath. I'm like you're not gonna let this breath go. You're not gonna let, and it's agonizing pain holding that breath. And I let it go, and I was gone. But that breath, it's one breath away, and you'll hold it. When our time comes in this vessel, this body, it's just this body. Trust me, I've been there. It's just this body. When we leave this body, you'll hold on to that last breath, and you're gonna, unless you're ready to go, then you just let it go. But if you're not ready, if you've never had any experience, or if you haven't lived, if your time comes too short, you'll try to hold that breath for dear life, because that's what it is. Once you let it go, that soothing peace is unexplainable.
Yeah. With that last breath, it's almost as if it's a fear.
It is.
Yeah. I'm changing things up on Mondays at Life Reflection, where I want to talk about the impermanence. I want to talk about the taboo we don't talk about.
Right.
And, and so I
Oh,
found elders, I said, be changing things up. Um, but it is something, and yet while we're here, I just know that we come of and from love. So staying in the pureness, I don't care if you're like so angry and mad, and it's just you're like, there is not an inkling of sparkle in my heart, because love, there can't be any love. There's so much chaos going on in the world. But yet pick up the phone or just start writing, and write like as if you were writing your best friend. I'm
yeah.
really angry at this. I'm super angry. And then switch roles and become your friend and write.
Or
So
your
what?
own counselor.
Right. And I really like that song that the Beatles, All the Love. I love that line. All the love you give is really meant for you. And when you tap into that and you sit with just that beautiful truth of when you sit and say, all the love I give is really meant for me. Wow. It's nurturing. It's soft. It's all of a sudden it's a pivotal. Yeah, it is. And it's just that soft when you allow yourself to say, wow, I do believe that all the love I give is really meant for me.
Yeah.
It's powerful, man. That's powerful.
You just spoke on today's law. Today's law out of the 12 laws is the law of compensation. And it talks about that too. It talks about all that you give is what you receive. You know, and that's why, going back to some who are still hurting in the 3D world because they're not really at that level yet, and they project a negative on, but then refusing to give that back and going out. That's my choice, to go out and not give, because I love people. I love people. I see their hurt and I know it's not their fault. And when I see it, I can understand it, but I can also see that they don't understand themselves yet. And so choosing to, you know, you get what you give. So I find all the time people that are angry and exploding, they're giving that everywhere. So they're receiving it. And that's the one thing they don't see. They're not giving love, like you just said. You're giving love to yourself. Our people, our tribe is an extension of you. We just said this body is only a pair of clothes. What does that mean for all of us? We're all the same one life force. I see you, you're me. You see me, I'm you. Everyone in the chat, we are all one. So when you're giving anger, when you're giving hostility, did Jamie freeze again? Uh-oh. You get what you give. So give love. Even if you have, no matter what, somebody's bombing on you, somebody's driving, your integrity says, I'm going to love this person anyways. I'm going to choose to not give back what they're giving to me. Because when we give it back, you're asking for 10 times more that amount. Did Jamie freeze, guys? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to post some Cosmic Oracle. Can you guys hear me? Let me type it in the chat. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to pull some cards. And by the way, since you're here, if you have any questions, I like to do this. If you have any questions for these cards, ask them in your mind right now, trusting and knowing that what comes out is meant for you. We don't have to say, oh, I can only listen to a Cancer reading. You can jump in. I used to jump in on live tarot readings just at random and know and trust that whatever was being spoken was meant for me in that moment. So as I pull these cards, allow that to be what your heart is asking for. Mind you, I said heart. I didn't say head because this head has no idea what you really want, but your heart does. It just doesn't talk as loud as your head. So let's go with this. Cosmic Oracle. Okay, we got two. Number one card is Be Real. Be real. Enough. No more hiding yourself. Loudly voice your inner thoughts. Uphold your truth. When you speak up, you'll enter a higher vibrational level. You know what happens when you enter a higher vibrational level? You start magnetizing that level towards you. So you ever find yourself being torn away from situations that seemed like anchors? That's because you're raising, and let's say raising your vibration is just becoming more mature. Whereas to where you used to deal with making fun of those in your group, teasing them, putting them down, belittling every time they try to, build themselves up. You mature in life. This is called raising your vibration. You mature and you go, you know what? That's not who I am. I don't function at that level anymore. And when you make that choice to stop functioning at those levels, you're being real. You're not just fitting in anymore.
Yeah.
Once you start doing that, you start aligning with people who are also there to stop putting you down. Stop dumping their trauma on you because they think you can handle it all. Be real. Step up. Step out of being in line. And the next one is brew. Yeah, I know she's back. Okay, Bruce says, you are being called to listen to the prelude of miracles soon to unfold. These miracles are brewing around you, waiting to reveal themselves at the right moment. Prepare your heart and keep yourself open to the beauty of the unknown. My God, we've been talking about that today. Right? Man, how do you keep freezing? I can't, I can hear you. Yeah, yeah, that's right. If you guys couldn't hear her, what Jamie just said is the days of go along to get along are done. It's time to start drawing your line in the sand and saying, no, I refuse to be that. Just like yesterday, turning off all the phone. No, I had to turn the world off because I'm like, no, today I'm not giving all my energy to this. Same goes in your life. Make that choice to be yourself, stand up for yourself because they're probably freezing her. And I say they because there is a third dimensional technical energy entities that listen to our phone calls, watch our text messages, monitor our social media engagements, follow us through all the cameras in our society that don't want people to realize it's time to put that line in the sand and say, I don't function like you. I don't function under your rules. I'm waking up and I'm starting to heal myself and others. And that's probably why they're freezing her so many times because we don't have this. That's right.
Soften. And so it's not about throwing the dishes like, oh, that's another story where I got so angry. What, 15 years ago, I just started throwing the plates in the kitchen. I was so mad. But
Yeah.
anyway, you don't have to do that. I realize now that we don't have to. And so I can be, I can gently, with ease and grace, but yet with that command of saying, no, I'm going in another direction. And there's many paths, there's gratitude, there's forgiveness, there's all kinds of things, but whatever feels good in your body and that you can embody
Yeah.
and command the outer, it's you'll be surprised at how good it feels.
Yeah.
One, how your perspective changes. Two, and then also you'll see how others' perspective changes. Three.
Right.
So yeah, love, just keep love and kindness in your heart. Love and kindness. love, and kindness.
You know how you said there's different ways to, there's many different paths, and you said something about commanding your space earlier. Reminders of things. When I get too busy in the world, I forget these things. But my path is through magic and occult, right? Because it just feels the best to me. But if you don't know, commanding your space can be as easy as the lesser banishing ritual, where you just draw a pentagram or pentacle, and you can, I won't get too much into it. If you face east and say Agla in different directions and say different things. But if ever you feel like the universe's energy, a way of commanding your space is just drawing a pentacle. And I go like this, be done. Damn, you froze again? What? Oh yeah. You keep you keep freezing. What? Oh, about drawing the lesser banishing ritual and then be gone. Yeah. Jamie really does got a lot to teach you guys. She's got a lot. She's a natural high priestess, intuitive. Pisces have that connection. Water signs in general have a very psychic, otherworldly connection, um, to where it's almost, it could almost seem sometimes invasive, right? Because we know that we can tap into the unconscious of the whole collective of Earth, right? So at the same time, we wonder ourselves, like, I wonder who's listening to my unconscious thoughts. But she does. She has a lot to teach. George, you'd probably love her sound baths, dude. Check out the next sound bath. Come in and let her calm your soul. I know they keep freezing her because it's just how this universe of 3D here works in the Matrix. The Matrix watchers are like, no, stop this. Stop this. While she's frozen, I'll pull some more cards. How's that? All right. You know what I thought about your sound baths? We should live stream them. Like live stream them or record them. So, like, say for instance, person who is a person is in Oklahoma, so she can tap in and watch and listen, and maybe start a 2026. All right. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's 1 1 2026. I did that old slip. Oh, so guys, if you're out there, I'm Count Dooku in the chat, and it is 1 1 1 2026, not 25. And there we go. All right, so let me pull some cards. She's still frozen, so I'm gonna pull some cards for you guys. We got some angel signs. Same thing. If you have questions, if you have something that's on your mind, something that has been, even if you're watching this after the live, this card's meant for you. Let it fit into your question and let it unfold the answers that need to be revealed. We have, ooh, vanity. And this card says, free yourself from the need for validation. You are infinitely more than the limiting story of your ego. Vanity. Free yourself from the need for validation. You are infinitely more than the limiting story of your ego. So, whatever your question was, it was limiting you. You were binding yourself to that question. Release it. There is so much more that you don't even understand that you're worthy of. Take the clothes off. Step into try meditation. I don't ever try to force people to do things, but literally for me, taking my human clothes off is meditation. That's why it's not a luxury in my life. It's a need. It's my medicine. Take off this human skin and feel free and alive out of all of these limitations of I'm John Odin Grey Wolf. Yeah, here in the 3D, I'm a star. In the other world, I'm gas. I'm nothing. And I'm a microphoton. Yeah, endless. We're yeah. She's saying Jamie Jette, because I know she's still frozen. I could see the screen. She's saying she's never taken LSD or acid or any of these things, but she does through the sound, transcends the body. And since she mentioned that, every time I ever took a psychedelic drug, all it did was just take away the tension of the human body going, why am I so vast and why do my thoughts go this? And it said, whoop, take that skin off. And I'm like, no, this is normal. This is my normal state of being. That binding skin I was wearing was making me think that all the vastness in my imagination is wrong. It's not. So whether you've taken psychedelics or you haven't, once you transcend the ego, the vanity life, you find something different. You move different. You sleep different. I remember when it first happened, I did not live by a clock. You want me to wake up in the morning? Good luck. I'll wake up when my body was ready to, because every time I got out of that cycle, it was limiting, it was binding, it was chaos. I couldn't function in that strict vain type of being. So she's still frozen. So I'm gonna pull some. Uh, she's saying she doesn't freeze. Or she doesn't feel frozen. It's a trip. I don't know why her card is why she's frozen. But we got the recharge card here, so maybe her phone needs a recharge. Oh, you know what? With this, mental rest, emotional recovery, take a break, come back stronger. So maybe that's just time to end this podcast. All right. So Jamie, she's frozen, but she's saying goodbye to all of you. We're gonna go ahead and call it there. We're at the 1 hour deadline, anyways. Thank you all for tuning in. Right? We can do some. Oh, and there she is, just in time to say, okay, go ahead and go ahead.
I I just wanted to say thank you, and just remember, you don't have to look at us, but if you can just hear us or listen, that would be great. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Uniting Wellness, Manura Labs. Thank
Oh, we get to see Elandra coming up soon. She froze again. So she was saying, we want to say thank you to Uniting Wellness, Anura Labs, Stargate Sound Medicine, Cheryl with Natural Closet, The Natural Closet, Shaman Grey Wolf. And then also, I forgot to add this to today's podcast. Last night, I came home and there were so many positive comments that reassured me that what I am doing with this tarot and the shared space that I share is positive and helpful for others. And that really hit home yesterday. I needed that. Thank you guys for that. It was one of those days I was questioning why I do this. And your comments and helpful words, they meant a lot at that moment. And there's my website down there, www.shamangraywolf.com. Um, check me out. I got services listed there. And I will see you all next time. Teamwork. All right, guys. Take care. All right, Jamie. Uh oh. Did it freeze?